But can someone explain to me the phenomenon of men matching with me, starting conversations, and they're into it and they're being so fun and cool and flirty and it's going great, and then they're like, oh, whoa, you have kids. Like, that's, I don't know how I feel about that.
Since I became a mom, I'm quick to cut people off. Like, if you don't like something, I'm cutting you off, because I don't want my daughter subjected to, like, no toxic behavior or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we all had that young, like, toxic stage, and, like, once you grow out of it, like, you don't want to go back into it.
And if you're not emotionally available enough to be able to tell me whether or not you like me or not, then I don't have time for that, because I already have a toddler who is working through their emotions. I don't need to be dealing with a grown-ass adult who doesn't know how to work through their emotions.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we have a competition between a few single mothers fighting over which one is the most entitled. So here we have our first competitor. Let's check all three out, guys, and you leave me a comment down below which one is the most entitled. Let's get started.
You're a single mom. How do you date? I feel like I'm having a hard time finding the balance between being a single mom and then dating. I am so overprotective of my daughter. Like, I won't leave my daughter with anybody to watch her just to go on a date. But I did start talking to this guy or whatever, and we know each other already. So, like, we already have that bond. Like, we were friends. We have that little connection. But he started, like, standing me up. Like, he started slacking. Because we would have plans, so I would, like, get myself ready, I'd get my daughter ready for bed, I'd put her to sleep, and then he just would not show up. And I feel like I should have cut him off right there, but because, like, I'm such a lover girl, and I feel like when I'm talking to a man, that's the only man I'm talking to. Should have cut him off, but I didn't, because since we already knew each other, like, he's been to my house before, he's met my daughter, I'm comfortable with him. So why would I stop talking to him when I already know I'm comfortable with him? You know what I mean? But I don't want to tolerate too much. Like, since I became a mom, I'm quick to cut people off. Like, if you don't like something, I'm cutting you off, because I don't want my daughter subjected to, like, no toxic behavior or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we all had that young, like, toxic stage, and, like, once you grow out of it, like, you don't want to go back into it.
Yeah, so it all sounded beautiful, it was all rainbows and butterflies. This woman sounded good in the beginning. She said, I'm not dating more than one man at a time. That's a good thing. I don't want bad people, bad influences around my daughter. I prioritize my daughter before dating, all green flags. If this woman was a widow, she could have all our sympathies, madam, wish you the best. Your husband is not around anymore, but you're taking a good approach. But then she mentions, of course, the 99% of the cases situation where they have had their past, they have done their mistakes, they have slept with the chads, have a triple-digit body count. They probably kicked the man out of the family unit or just married the biggest red flag known to humankind. They've done all their mistakes, but as she herself mentions, well, now I don't want to go back to it. As in, that's it, guys. I did it. I solved the problem. I don't want to go back to it again, so trust me, bro. I'm not gonna divorce you like I already did to my ex-husband. I'm not gonna cheat on you or date multiple men like I did in the past. Oh, okay, let me put a ring on that finger. Guys, it's like, you've already done these mistakes. We already don't trust you. You already come with baggage. You already come with mileage. It's over.
But I'm like, should I just cut him off and, like, stay to myself like I have been doing? Or should I, like, keep talking to him? Like, I don't know what to do. So give me advice.
Here's the advice. Don't crap your pants and then ask the question, who crapped in my pants? That's the advice. Women, stop ruining your lives and then expecting mercy from guys. Stop expecting us to be saviors and therapists and child care services, Stop, just stop. We're not gonna pay full price for a second-hand used car with a lot of mileage. And it sounds like a you problem, Like, why does any man have to pay the full price for you? Why does any man have to step in and fix all the mistakes that you've done or live with them? We're not gonna do that.
Good night, good night, good night.
I have a genuine question, and I could just be an old millennial who really doesn't know what she's doing on dating apps, and that's a very real possibility that I'm willing to live with. But can someone explain to me the phenomenon of men matching with me, starting conversations, and they're into it and they're being so fun and cool and flirty and it's going great, and then they're like, oh, whoa, you have kids. Like, that's I don't know how I feel about that. Like, oh, I don't know if I'd want to be stepdad. And I am floored by the amount of times this has happened. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so here's my Bumble profile, right? She's cute.
Right, so before we get onto her profile, chat, is this real? Are you telling me that men really don't enjoy and fancy the idea of seriously committing to a single mother? Someone leave a comment down below, guys. Is this real? I don't believe it.
She's fun. Oh, it's...
Right, so let me read a little about me. She says, you won't have to defeat my 7 evil exes if you want to date me. Oh, thank God. But you will have to deal with my attitude and ADHD. So, a few emojis. This is so cringe. Like, first off, ADHD just stands for she's really annoying, right? And then I'm not downplaying mental illnesses. It's just nowadays you can't take anyone seriously with their quote-unquote mental conditions because it's just made up. Like 95% of people today that have depression and anxiety and all those things, they just don't touch grass, they don't go to the gym, and they need attention. It's really that, guys. I'm not saying that there are no people out there who have serious problems, but those people with real mental illnesses, they cringe when they see a random woman saying how, oh, I'm so depressed. But anyway, she has 7 exes, nice to know. I require too much attention for ENM, I don't know what that stands for, to work, but thank you for your interest. Right.
What's this? Have kids?
And then my basics, she's 5'1", so basically a little taller than a hobbit. What do you bet, guys, that her expectations are like, oh, he has to be 6 feet too, you know? Then she's Libra, as if anybody gives a damn. She's liberal. Wow, what a surprise. She is part of the 99% of women who are liberal. Interesting. And then her interests are stand-up, beaches, road trips, sense of humor, deep chats. It's just a bunch of nonsense. The sense of humor, guys, one of the most overused expectations that aren't really criteria for men. If you're attractive, you'll be instantaneously funny. If you're not a literal stone, a literal rock, if you are not attractive, you can be the most funny person on earth. They will not give a damn. And same goes for deep chats. Notice how they always say, oh, I love deep chats, I love long conversations, ask me about my favorite color. Yet the men they end up replying to and texting are the ones who write one-liners. You know, one sentences. Do you want to come on Wednesday night? That's the type of guys they reply to. You know, those guys that text a lot, they just leave them in their DMs piled up next to 68 other guys that also are interested in her. So you have to be able to read through bios because these women just lie. They lie through their teeth.
Kids? You mean that hasn't been hidden at all? This entire time it's been right there for you to see? It's because I expected them to have read my profile at all before matching with me, right? That's the problem.
This is so true.
Yes, I mean, I don't know when women will get through their heads, but men just don't read bios. We don't do it, all right?
Especially true.
Sorry, I'm gonna read this for the gentleman not watching. So this woman, she's been on the channel on a video a couple days ago. She's a single mother. She comes from a divorce, a 7-year-old relationship that she decided to throw away because she thought that she can get something better. And she's replying to, hell, I wish more people will just text, just call. It says you're into me, and I want to be able to do the same. These games are exhausting. No, men, nah, we're not gonna call and text because, as mentioned on the previous case, Guys, when you text women and you call them and you are romantic and all those things, they have 100 other people that do the exact same thing. And interestingly enough, this woman comes from a relationship with someone who used to text her, used to reply instantaneously, used to call her to check on her, and she divorced him. So it's bullshit.
If you are a single mom or a single dad, like I spend so much of my energy at work and then at home that I don't literally have the energy or the mental capacity to be like, let me rein that back. Let me run through all these little games and tactics and things and whatnot that I
Sounds like a you problem, if you ask me. Sounds like men should not be giving a flying damn about what your mental energy is devoted to. We don't care. The moment you are a single mother and you work the 9 to 5 and you have to provide for your kid and you have to spend time and energy on that, all right, good for you, madam, really good for you. Take care of your child. It's just you're a minus to men. Your dating market value has significantly decreased. You already have kids from another man. You have less time than when you were younger. You have less energy than you were younger. You come with more baggage than when you were younger. Like, are we supposed to just take in these women as if they were in their peaks, you know, early 20s with their whole life ahead of them? Not a high body count, not being dating multiple strangers all the time.
shouldn't be doing. Because the reality is like, I have so many other things on my brain other than like this other person, but at the same time, I want to include them in my life. But
yeah, the reason why she wants to include them is, guys, because she wants a servant. That's what she wants. She wants the providing, she wants the bills paid, she wants the sink fixed, she wants someone to also take care of her kid, you know. That's what she wants. It's not love. Love is never part of the equation for these women. She's not willing to share her life with someone. She already had that, alright? She was already in a marriage where she was sharing her life, but she wanted something more. And here she is regretting it because she's not getting it, because she now realizes men don't give a crap about her. And guys, something else to mention, let me draw an analogy. These women that are single mothers and they expect guys to take them in, it's like, man, picture a guy who had a lot of money, and then he spent it all on street workers, on gambling, on alcohol. He spent all his money, and now he's saying, you know what, I want a 10 out of 10 supermodel to marry me, even though I don't have money even to pay the bills. Do you think any woman will take that offer? Do you think any woman will consider that a good man? Well, it's the same for single mothers. You know, in the same way that the guy has wasted and spent away what women find valuable in a relationship and they like and it attracts them, money in this case, and he has spent it on hookers and whatever not, in the same way, these single mothers have wasted their youth, have wasted their sanity. They come with baggage, they don't have their whole future ahead of them, they come with a lot of liabilities, they come with lack of pair bonding ability, they come with 110 demands. I really don't understand how they cannot get through their damn heads that they are just on the lower bracket of the dating market, that their value is equal to 0.
I don't want to have to play a game in order to have to include them in my life. Like, if you want to be in my life, then text me, then call me. Why am I sitting here worried about whether or not you're going to call or text me? Like, it's
yeah, guys, like, don't you feel ashamed that this woman has to sit around and wait for Prince Charming to come around? Don't you feel ashamed of yourselves? Like, guys, please just commit to her. You know, just commit to me, pay the bills, do everything. Why do I have to move my little finger? I think that this woman is the most entitled of all three. The best part, again, guys, is that she already had all of that, but she wanted something more. You know, she wanted the grass to be even greener. She wanted the next step, and now she's here crying and whining. I don't know why this woman is so entitled. She's a 4 out of 10 at best. So I don't know where those crazy expectations are coming from, guys. But first off, madam, no man wants you. That's in the first place. Like, no man wants to spend more than 15 minutes with you. Second, even if they wanted to, why do you have this entitled attitude of, oh, I just have to sit around and wait for Prince Charming to show up?
It should be pretty obvious, right? But it's not. Like, it's just not. Nowadays, like, people like to play these games of like, oh, I'm gonna play it cool, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that. It's like, why? Why can't you just tell this other human being that you like them? How is it that hard? You know your feelings. I don't know your feelings. You have to tell me your feelings. That's how it works. And if you're not emotionally available enough to be able to tell me whether or not you like me or not, then I don't have time for that, because I already have a toddler who is working through their emotions. I don't need to be dealing with a grown-ass adult who doesn't know how to work through their emotions.
Right, so we'll leave this woman because I've had enough cringe for today. But she mentions, you know, men, they have to tell me their feelings. Well, madam, you will soon realize, or at least I hope you do, you don't cope too much about it, but you will soon realize through the actions of men that their feelings are non-existent. They don't care about you. They just may use your body for recreational purposes. That's it. It's over, madam. You had your chance. You had your husband. You divorced him. Now you're a single mother and a pathetic loser, and you're not gonna find what you're looking for. I hope that's clear. But guys, we'll be leaving today's episode. You know, we've covered many single mothers on the channel throughout time. Something that we can observe is that the less value they have on the market, the more entitled they become. I really don't understand how that works. You know, these women should be begging on their knees for some male attention. Like, they should see a man and I don't know, cook him breakfast and iron his shirt and clean around and give him money and do everything possible to please that man in order for him to stay. This is what these women should be doing, just doing everything possible to satisfy him so he commits to them, you know, because they are the lowest value on the market. Like, any guy would have a better woman than them, you know, any guy that has a few options. If a guy has 2 options, he's not gonna pick you. Let me phrase it that way, right? So these women, guys, again, should be begging for some attention. Instead, what they do is keep increasing their standards to where it just becomes pathetic and hilarious. But thank you for watching, guys. Leave me your comments down below, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Have a good one.